election still up for grabs by those last-minute voters. ABC 10 News anchor Gabe Salazar live from the Registrar of Voters office with how the voter turnout looks so far. Gabe.
Yeah, Mel, fed up, frustrated, and looking for change. That's a message echoed by so many San Diego County voters we spoke with today as they cast their ballot in a crowded race with no incumbent and no clear frontrunner. Take a listen.
Most important that we get someone that has honest, hard work ethics and that's going to provide solutions and not just feed us crap.
For the last 3 decades, we haven't changed our party. And, you know, it's all the Democrats, and the Democrats are not doing anything specifically good at all.
Immigration is a really important thing. I believe that all people are people, and so treating people with respect and dignity is really important to us. The LGBTQ community is also really important to us.
And those voters are just 3 of the more than 2 million people registered to vote in San Diego County. Democrats have the largest block of voters with over 821,000 registered voters in San Diego, and about 500,000 are Republicans. The rest have no party affiliation or are registered with third parties. But regardless of political affiliation, recent polling shows many voters are focused on the same issues: cost of living, homelessness, and housing. And because it is a crowded race, election officials say that may also impact voter turnout.
There's many reasons why people will turn out. Typically, we see primary elections with a slightly lower turnout than a general election, but we're ready to handle any votes that do come through today.
So voters can cast a ballot at any vote center in the county or drop off their mail ballot at an official ballot drop box before polls close. To find the nearest location, we do have an interactive map posted on our website, 10news.com, under the Resource Center. And that lower turnout could have a big impact in this election. Officials say you must turn in your ballot or be in line by 8 p.m. tonight. At the Registrar of Voters, Gabe Salazar, ABC 10 News.
And as we keep a close eye on the polls, we do want to bring in California Secretary of State Shirley Weber to talk more about election security and what we can expect after the polls close. Thank you so much for joining us on this midday.
Thank you.
You know, Governor Newsom sent a letter to the county saying that they must, quote, accurately count every lawfully cast ballot as quickly as possible. So what is going to change, if anything is going to change, and how will counties make sure that happens?
Well, every county obviously has the same responsibility to count every ballot and to make sure that every person who puts in the ballot, that ballot will count and that we will accurately process it as we always do. So it's hard to say, is everybody going to count real fast? Because the question becomes, are the ballots coming in fast? We know that this is a slower process that's going on right now in terms of the turnout. So it's hard to say that it's going to be any faster than before because the actual returning ballots are a lot less, and people are taking longer to make a decision on a ballot that is so long itself. So I can't predict what's going to happen. I know that where we are right now is that we're not where we were in terms of prior primaries, in terms of looking at who's actually voting faster and slower and those kinds of things, and whether or not the people will turn out before 8 o'clock tonight to make sure that ballot gets in. But one thing is sure, we will count every ballot that's turned in legitimately, and we will make sure that everyone gets a chance to do what they're supposed to do, which is to participate in the process and get their ballot in. So we're going to do our part, and we're going to do it effectively and efficiently as we always have. But we're not in a race to beat some other state across the nation because we're a large state. We have a lot of responsibilities. We have vote by mail ballots. We have a lot of things that we have to verify to make the people of California feel that we're safe and secure in processing our elections.
And then what have you done to combat voting misinformation? What will we continue to do? Obviously, with the social media, the internet, the information gets spread so fast.
Well, we have a social media unit here in our office, and we also basically try to combat every misinformation, every disinformation that comes along. We make sure that that information gets out correctly. We also have something called trusted messengers, people who work with us throughout the state and communities, that when we hear something that is wrong and incorrect, we get the information to them. We quickly get it to our website as well, and we have our hotline that is on right now and is going up as fast as possible to give people information that is correct. We investigate every every complaint, everything that comes in with regards to dis and misinformation. We know we're in a battle with what is happening at the federal level when they like to basically constantly call elections fraud and create deception and so forth and so on. That's there. This is new, and not only in California, but it's new in the United States, that we actually have a president who basically fights against the elections and try to make it more difficult for people to get to the polls and to have faith in the elections. But we have faith in the elections, and we continue to process that, and it's always born out of the end when we listen to our folks across the state who say the elections were safe and secure. I felt good about what I did, and I think we have the right folks in office that we've elected ourselves. And so, you know, everybody gets nervous about it, but in the end, when we talk about it, most of the time folks are saying how safe, secure, and smooth our elections were.
And that's what everyone wants, a safe and secure election. Secretary of State Shirley Weber, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so very much, and remind everyone that this is Election Day, and be sure to go vote.
Absolutely, yes, and you have until 8 p.m. tonight. Let's go ahead and go to the South Bay right now on this midday. Chula Vista Mayor John McCann being challenged by two candidates. During his time in office, Mayor McCann helped bring the Gaylord Resort to the city, also helped implement homeless camping bans, and helped to expand affordable housing. Now, vying for his seat is Francisco Tamayo. He's a board member for the Chula Vista Elementary School District. His campaign, he says, is focused on bringing new industries to the city, putting more police in neighborhoods, and also creating opportunities for new affordable housing. Another challenger there, Yair Gerstein, is an administrative analyst with the County of San Diego. His campaign focuses on revitalizing West Chula Vista, also improving public transportation and expanding accessible child care. We will be bringing you coverage of the election throughout the day today and into this evening. Special edition of ABC 10 News is at 8 p.m. tonight, and you can also stay up to date with all of the latest on our website, 10news.com. And I do have to say, it is a nice day for the weather to go out and vote today. As we take a live look over Del Mar downtown, the clouds have cleared up nicely at 11:08. Temperatures here really range depending on where you are. We're mostly into the mid-60s along our coastline, near 70 degrees in Escondido, Poway, El Cajon, also seeing the upper 60s. And we're seeing a lot of 70s in our mountains. Borrego Springs, expecting that to tick up as we continue on into the afternoon. Triple-digit heat expected there. Visibility, not an issue. All of that has burned off from this morning, so it's nice and crystal clear. Forecast highs for today, our inland valley still going to increase several degrees as we get into the afternoon. The coastal forecast for today and the next few days, I'd say overall fairly pleasant.
A county worker accused of running over and killing a woman at a bus stop and then driving away made her first court appearance on Monday.
Surveillance video shows that she stopped for a few moments after the crash and then drove off. She claims that she was distracted by the mosque shooting at the time of the crash.
ABC 10 News reporter Karina Vargas spoke to some relatives of the victim who aren't buying that explanation.
It was very emotional for Katie Osorio's family. The woman who is accused of killing her pleaded not guilty, and in court, her attorney claimed that she had been distraught over the recent mosque shooting at the time of the crash. And inside the courtroom, the judge ordered us not to show her face.
You literally murdered her. How could you stand?
The family of Katie Osorio pleading for answers.
Look at her. Look at her. Look at the person you killed.
As a suspect, 41-year-old Asma Elliott left the courtroom after pleading not guilty to vehicular manslaughter and hit and run.
Her attorney said that she couldn't even recall herself running her over, and that the first thing she wanted to do was to get herself safely home.
Elliott is a San Diego County health official. In court, prosecutors revealed Elliott had a prior DUI conviction in 2010. Her attorney claims that she was distraught over the recent mass shooting at the Islamic Center of San Diego.
But there's also the experience she went through in the recent murders at the mosque that led her to make dire decisions that were based on stress and emotions.
Family members of Katie Osorio said they were shocked to hear Elliott's attorney reference the mosque shooting, saying it has nothing to do with what happened to Katie.
She used a mosque event to excuse herself, saying that because of the tragic event that had happened, she did that, which is totally irrelevant. She was nowhere near the event.
We're also seeing new surveillance video of the crash. We paused the video moments before the impact, but it shows Katie sitting at a bus stop in South Crest when a vehicle veers onto the sidewalk and slams into the bus stop. The driver appears to pause for a few seconds before backing up and driving away. We spoke with Katie's family at the memorial site, which was recently vandalized over the weekend.
No, it's so devastating to see how much cruelty people have in their hearts to like vandalize, steal from her. You know, everything that was brought here was by her coworkers, her community, her friends.
Katie's family is determined to fight for justice.
She hasn't gotten peace, we haven't gotten peace, and that person was able to leave. And we also want answers from the courts, from the judicial system to see and fight for Katie. Like, we have to have some type of justice for her.
The suspect remains out on a $50,000 bail. Her next court date is set for July 15th. Karina Vargas, ABC 10 News.
A well-known San Diego police officer is taking the department to court. You might remember Officer Jonathan Weiss, who saved 2 toddlers from a sinking truck at Sunset Cliffs. That happened back in 2020. Now he says the city punished him for getting help with his mental health. Weiss says he took approved time off last year to get treatment for PTSD, and he says supervisors showed up at his house and took away his canine partner. Weiss claims that officers with physical injuries get to keep their dogs. The police department says it takes the claim seriously, but it can't say much more while the lawsuit moves forward.
And at 11:12, we're taking a look at a nice 805 freeway as we continue north on the 15. There's some construction out there, but overall crash-free on our main freeways.
I woke up this morning and it's not as bright as it used to be.
Days before a funeral service, a family remembers a South Bay teen shot to death by a customer while he was working at Walmart.
His mother tells ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen her son was defending himself when the customer pulled out a gun and shot him.
For several months, Keon Martin had been working at this Chula Vista Walmart collecting cards, and he loved his job. But on that Tuesday night, as his shift was wrapping up, an encounter with a customer would end with his death.
He was my only son and the baby.
18-year-old Keon Martin says his mother was a proud nerd, an aspiring entrepreneur who lit up a room. For privacy reasons, she asked us not to show her face.
I woke up this morning and it's not as bright as it used to be.
Police say 2 weeks ago, around 10:30 p.m., a customer, 32-year-old Thomas Perez, was involved in a fight with Martin in the parking lot when Perez reached for his gun and shot Martin. Perez then called 911 and turned himself in. Martin's mother says, according to prosecutors, there is surveillance video of the incident.
Argument happening. The man punched my son. My son stumbled, got up, and defended himself. Guess maybe my son was overpowering him at that point. Took out a gun and shot him. And the way that he shot him was, it looks like through the back, close range.
Police say Martin was rushed to a hospital where he passed away.
I'm still hoping to wake up from the nightmare.
Martin's mother says her son was a track star at Chula Vista High before graduating last year. She says he was also a vocabulary buff.
He used to read the dictionary for fun, teach me new words.
He was hoping to start his own e-commerce business. She says he loved his job at Walmart because he loved talking to people. She has no doubt her son was defending himself.
He would always say, chillax. You know, he would read books of meditation. He was not a fighter.
When it comes to the man accused of taking her son's life, there is one overwhelming feeling.
All I feel is envy. His family's going to get closure, get to give him his last goodbyes.
Several days after the shooting, Perez pleading not guilty to murder charges.
I would like justice for murdering my son.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Skycam Views, sponsored by Carlsbad Solar. This 10 News Pinpoint Weather Report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. Nobody wows clients like we do.
It is Tuesday. It's election day. If you're like me, you still have to turn in your ballot. It is a nice afternoon to go ahead and do that. We are seeing nice skies there over Spring Valley. A few clouds as we look over La Jolla right now at 11:21. Most of our marine layer, for the most part, hanging out along the coastline. But I still say shaping up to be a nice day. The fog has burned off, and overall temperatures are fairly comfortable, at least for right now. We're seeing a lot of mid-60s there along the coastline, upper 60s in in Escondido, upper 90s in Borrego Springs, and that's going to continue to warm up here as we get into the afternoon hours. Overall, we are actually a little bit cooler compared to this time yesterday, anywhere between 1 to 7 degrees cooler. As we continue on into the day, by about 8 p.m., we're going to be back down into the mid-60s. We're going to see that marine layer creep back in along the coastline. Some of those clouds also extending into our inland valleys. Again, mid to upper 70s, even some few low 80s forecasted for your daytime high in the afternoon, and in the low 60s for those overnights. 7-day forecast, we're going to be roughly in the same range here over the next few days, getting into Wednesday and Thursday. By this upcoming weekend, we do dip a little bit, and you can see that in our inland valleys, going from the low 80s here back down into the 70s. Mountain communities, we're going to reach the low 80s Wednesday and Thursday.
Now harder to get food assistance for thousands of people in San Diego.
New rules for CalFresh benefits went into effect on Monday. Most able-bodied adults between 18 and 64 without kids must work or volunteer 20 hours a week to keep those benefits.
ABC 10 News reporter Ryan Hill spoke to some people who are on CalFresh about how they plan to handle these new requirements.
Once we get the EBT card, it takes a weight off of our shoulders.
Nearly 100,000 people in San Diego County could have that weight that CalFresh benefits relieve be put right back on their shoulders.
I mean, at least it's not a lot of money, but it's enough to at least give me by a week or two.
I've been on CalFresh for years. It's been helping me get along and get across for years. But to hear that they're going to cut it out, it's just ridiculous and heartbreaking.
The new working requirements for California food assistance come after the passing of Federal House Resolution 1, a.k.a. the Big Beautiful Bill. Adults between 18 to 64 who aren't able to show they can't work will have to work 80 hours a month to qualify for food assistance.
Many of them are vulnerable. There are veterans, they're homeless, their parents, children that now will have to meet these new requirements.
Sam Dukes with Feeding San Diego.
So we know that demand in food insecurity and our work will increase.
He tells me it may take about a year for the impacts from these CalFresh changes to be felt.
You may not lose your benefits today, but it will be potentially when you have to recertify within the next year for those benefits. And then, of course, anyone applying today and on will have to meet these new requirements.
New requirements posing a new challenge for some.
You requiring a job for us to get EBT food stamps, that's heartbreaking. And that's a mountain that we got to get over.
Others feel the new requirements aren't as big of a mountain to climb.
You got to work for your food. You got to work for your place to stay. You got to work for everything. It's about giving back to the community. I mean, a job is what you need to do to survive.
Ryan Hill, ABC 10 News.
And taking you back outside, as far as crashes, overall fairly quiet, which is nice. There is one hazard to report here on the 8 East, right by the Main Street off-ramp, so look for a disabled vehicle there. Other than that, have a safe commute to wherever you're going. Election day in California, more than 60 people are on the ballot to be the Golden State's next governor. By the end of today, that list will be whittled down to 2. It's time for the Streamline, everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Our new statewide ABC 10 News Union Tribune poll shows Democrat Tom Steyer and Republican Steve Hilton leading the crowded pack at 20%. Democrat Javier Becerra is at 17%, which is within the poll's margin of error. Now, the only other candidate to crack double digits is Republican Chad Bianco at 11%, but with 12% of voters still undecided, nothing is for certain. This crowded race is still up for grabs. The top 2 candidates, regardless of party, will face off in the general election. And California set a record for registration this election. Here in San Diego County, some 450,000 voters have already cast their ballot. ABC 10 News anchor Max Goldwasser caught up with some of them to hear what influenced their selections.
You only have one more day to do what I just did, vote in the state primary. Many San Diegans have yet to make their decision, and for the ones who have, they tell me it went far beyond choosing a name on the ballot.
Car after car, drop after drop. This drive-through of democracy helping determine the next leader of our state.
What are you hoping to see out of the next governor?
Do what you say what you do, make it work. And no BS.
Paul Dusick says he thinks California needs a fresh